It is now time!
One of the big questions you and I should try to answer tonight is will or should Drew because those are two different things, will and should. Drew McIntyre unseat Roman Reigns for the title. I think for the second premium live event in a row, the WWE, God bless their souls, has created a main event where people believe Roman may actually lose. So I guess let me throw it to you. I don't really know who else I can talk to. What's your take on this? Will he lose? Should he lose?
I kind of feel like I have two different answers there because I am leaning towards that.
Two different questions.
Lose. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards him actually losing here, because for a multitude of reasons, but I feel like Drew McIntyre in their minds kind of deserves this moment. It's the biggest stadium show, biggest show they've done in the UK since SummerSlam 92. Very nice tie-in there. Drew was a great champion, of course. We talked about it all the time during the pandemic. We thought he carried himself very well in a very tough environment. And, he went from a situation where he won the Royal Rumble that year, Houston, I believe, got that awesome pop winning the Rumble. So one of the greatest Rumbles of all time. We've talked about that on the show too.
When he eliminated Lesnar, that was a great moment.
Oh my God. So good. And so with him having so much momentum and then COVID hitting and, him winning at Mania in front of nobody, he didn't get that moment. And I feel like, he beats Roman there. It's going to be a moment. It's going to be a pop. And I feel like they're going to have a really hard time passing that up. Roman's had the title now for a couple of years. Now, should he lose? It kind of depends on what's on the horizon. Who's coming in to the company? When are people coming back to the company? I mean, I think all of us on the pod pre-injury believed that Cody Rhodes should be the guy to dethrone Roman. We all agreed on that. We were hoping for SummerSlam, and it looked like Cody would win Money in the Bank and go on to SummerSlam. And that didn't happen. Obviously, they threw a wrench in because of the injury to the pectoral muscle. And I would still like to see Cody be the guy, but do you think that they can wait that long to do it? I know Roman's had the title for a long time. They can continue on, but is he going to be able to sustain that momentum even longer? Do they have people to keep him busy until that happens? What do you think, Kyle?
My answers to your last two questions are yes and yes. Roman Reigns here, as we turn the calendar to September of 2022, right now is exactly what they always wanted him to be. When I watch WWE TV, and I catch it, a couple days after, whatever, watch it in clips. It's actually a very easy watch because you can fast forward through all the gaga.
Yeah.
This guy is a legit huge superstar for them. He is starting to get cheered by the audience, which is ironically what they always wanted from the start. And I'll admit, for most of 2021, I was like, man, this is kind of boring. They should come up with someone who's going to beat this guy. But man, they kept going and going. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't think he should lose for a long time.
Yeah.
And part of the reason that the reign is more exciting now is they do have people that you're buying could beat him. And just because you're buying a challenger should beat the champion, and it's the first time in a while, doesn't mean that challenger should win. I'll come back to Drew in a moment. But the problem early on with Roman's run is you knew he was going to get it for a while, but and people are going to get upset about this. I understand that, but the Cesaros, the Finn Balors of the world, they were not going to beat Roman Reigns, especially not with Vince McMahon having the final word. But now you have people, and they built Drew up the right way. I'll say that, right? I mean, he was like farting around with Happy Corbin, wasn't he, for a long time? And we were saying, okay, they're doing a slow burn on this. As soon as this show was announced, you figured it was going to be Drew challenging Roman Reigns. And here we are. And I think they've done a pretty decent job by modern WWE standards building this match up.
Mm-hmm.
Will he? I'll get back to that in a moment. Should he, Drew, beat Roman Reigns? No. He shouldn't. And here's why. Okay, I'm not going to disagree with you that him winning would be this great moment. Okay, the hometown guy or wins. But then
And
what?
that, to be clarified, that's me putting my thoughts of what I think they think.
Okay,
I'm
but
kind of more with you. Should he? I'm not so sure on that. I probably would lean towards no, but my answer to the first question, will he? I'm leaning towards yes.
okay,
Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
I'll get back to that. But yeah, in terms of, I just think, okay, he has this great moment, but we always talk about WWE. They have these moments, and then what? What happened? Like, unless if Roman's just like not going to be around at all, and I don't think
Mhm.
that's going to be the case, he's going to overshadow whatever he's doing is going to overshadow Drew as the champion. I just think Roman is and again, this may shock some people. I'm saying this. They've gone long enough and strong enough with this run that it's kind of like in that. Look, it's not Hogan the first time. It's, in Austin, the first time he would drop it and win it back like in a day. But you brought up what do they have on deck for Roman potentially? Well, we're going to talk about this guy in a moment. I think Seth Rollins is a guy. I think if they're bringing Braun Strowman back, he's a guy. And those are guys that I don't mind at all losing to Roman Reigns. Like, I'd be happy to see him lose to Roman Reigns. I would hate either of those guys to be the world champion, to be honest with you. And then, by that, I mean, remember, Roman's only working, 2 shows after this probably? Saudi and Survivor Series?
Yeah.
So all you need is 2 guys between now and the end of the year. And then you have the Rumble, and then Saudi again. Presumably, they do another Saudi show between Rumble and Mania, and then it's Mania. If they have The Rock penciled in, again, people aren't going to want to hear this. They think maybe they think it's boring. You absolutely should have Roman Reigns having not lost in forever against The Rock as your main event. That is the biggest possible match this promotion can do, and they should.
So you think it should be a title match?
Yes.
Oh wow, that shocks me.
And
a little bit.
You're gonna ask about Cody.
Yeah.
Do it after Mania. Why does Cody have to win it at Mania?
So you're not of the belief that match doesn't need a title? Because do you think it spoils it though? That there's nobody's going to buy. You're talking about people believing that people can beat Roman Reigns. Nobody's going to buy that The Rock's going to win the championship if it's a championship match. I personally feel like if it's not a championship match, you could buy that The Rock might win a little more. I don't think he would, but
I see the online discourse. People buy anybody. People last year were saying that CM Punk should lose his first match.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy.
People will say anything. Yeah, so I think they'll leak a rumor. Oh, Rock has had a great couple weeks of television, thinking of staying around. And it'll probably be like bullshit, but they'll leak it to the blue checkmark people, not yourself. I mean, you're an objective journalist, but the ones who are not objective.
Mm-hmm.
They're paid stooges, if you will, on Twitter.com.
Yeah,
I am of the opinion the biggest match should have the title. I don't like the whole thing. Oh, here's a world title match. Because what do I always say? Like, these friends of mine, well, what's the main event? And then I'll tell them, oh, it's Rock versus Roman Reigns. Well, it's for the title? No, there's this other title match. It just seems weird. That is something that we lived through in like the late WrestleMania 20s, like the WrestleMania 23s through 28s, where there wasn't sometimes that clear main event, or in the case of Rock and Cena that didn't have the title, but that completely overwhelmed the title match. And I don't like when the title match is a clear second or third from the top. Does it now?
But you're talking about a 2-night WrestleMania.
Well, they could have a women's match main event the other, or something else, or they could have Cody main event. Like, what if Cody beat Brock at WrestleMania? I think you can find something interesting for Cody to do, and why not spice up those post-Mania doldrums where there's like nothing ever happening? I don't think Cody necessarily needs to win at Mania. Now, if the Rock match isn't in there, okay, Cody and Roman seems like a very solid plan B. But getting back to the task at hand, Clash at the Castle, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. I've laid out why Drew shouldn't win. I feel bad that the guy won the title for the COVID, but that doesn't mean he should win here. It's like, okay, it kind of sucks for you, but oh well, like I don't think that should be the reason why they put the title on Drew McIntyre. they should be going all the way with Drew McIntyre if he wins. And I just don't see that happening. The Willie, I'm going to say no as well. It'll be interesting how it comes off live, but they've got a lot of guys that can interfere, and Drew can be protected the loss. Usos, obviously, Sami Zayn. And I think they're setting up Karrion Kross and Drew as a feud after this pay-per-view. And to me, again, Drew McIntyre, Karrion Kross as a world title feud, and then Roman underneath, that just sounds dumb. I'm sorry.
Do you think Roman would leave for a while, though? I mean, take a break, be off television if he lost the title. I think he would probably go on a little bit of a sabbatical.
He would go on a law. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But my question is, are the networks going to want that? Is that a smart idea?
I mean, we know that he's got the restructured contract now. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
he doesn't
does.
have to be around as
Oh.
much. They could, if I can't remember if it's a guaranteed amount of dates, they can move that around and then he can work a little bit more later on too. But yeah, you talked about, and you mentioned it, Kyle, that this is a company that talks about how they create moments. And I just look at this with the huge stadium in the UK, Drew McIntyre. And if you ask me, will it happen? I lean towards yes, because I just don't know that they can turn down that moment that would be. We'll see.
It's tempting, but I just think you have to sometimes think bigger than a singular moment.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm thinking like WWE though. Yeah.
I mean, do you want Drew McIntyre as like a long-term champion? I mean,
this isn't my opinion. It's
Oh, I'm
will
not
they
saying-
do it? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I'm
will.
not
It's your
saying-
first question. Will they do
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
I just think that I don't know. They've got enough to set up to protect him. I'm going to
Yeah.
say Cross, Zayn, Usos et al. Interfere. It could be like Undertaker and Yokozuna, but hopefully Drew McIntyre does not levitate to the heavens afterwards.
Yeah, kidding. Oh man, yeah. Tim had said in the chat, talking, I think, going back to the whole title situation with Roman Rock, it needs a stipulation. If there's a DQ, he loses one belt. I think if he does retain here, and then they push towards that match with The Rock, I do think that he will either lose one of the belts or he'll lose them both in like a way where he doesn't get pinned, like a triple threat or something like that.
That would be shitty though.
Yeah, that's just, if you want him to go in though to WrestleMania unbeaten for a few years, but not the champion, that's the way to do it. And I personally am in the opposite belief. I don't think it should be a title match. That's my belief. I don't think it needs the belt. I think it takes away the believability factor that The Rock can pull it off because everybody knows his schedule.
He's gonna win regardless. Who thinks
Yeah.
The Rock's gonna win that match? I mean, I think Roman should fucking pin him with 1 foot.
I think the less plugged in audience could buy it. The people that are tuning in,
I
this is
think they'll buy it. He's
WrestleMania.
gonna win the yeah.
This-
but
yeah,
do you
I mean,
think
it's
they'll think he's gonna win
WrestleMania,
the
though.
championship though. I mean, the less plugged
No,
in.
I don't think
Have you-
so,
and
because
have
they know
you
it's like a
seen-
one-time match. This guy hasn't worked in years.
And I mean, have you seen the takes from the WWE fans online? I don't believe anything.
But it is WrestleMania on
They think
Peacock.
Seth Rollins is a good worker.
But it's WrestleMania on Peacock. There's going to be a large, broader audience of people that don't watch week to week. They know The Rock. They know he hasn't wrestled. I'm sure they'll push that if this match happens, that he hasn't wrestled in, how many years. And I just think it'll be hard to believe that he could become the world champion knowing how busy this guy is in Hollywood. On the other hand, if it's not for the title and he's coming back for one match, he might pull it off. I'm just looking at this from a believability factor.
And the one fly in the ointment of doing that as a title match is what do you do with the Rumble?
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
the Rock is not going to work the Rumble, and if he's in it, he's obviously going to win it. So they'll have to do that. I would love for them to actually change that up this year around that, and like the Rumble, something happens where the Rumble winner, I don't know, whoever wins it winds up not challenging at Mania, or that match is already set and they're allowed to pick their own match or something else. Yeah. I'd love them to change up the formula a little bit.
Well, if Cody comes back and they take the titles off Roman, I mean, you can still do the same general idea. Cody wins the Rumble. He faces, I don't know, Brock or something for the title night one. And then Roman Rock is the title or the non-title match the other night.
I don't know. I just like the biggest matches that title
Yeah.
match. I'm kind of old school in that regard. And something else, I don't think they should ever ununify these titles. I think the single best thing the World Wrestling Federation did in 2022 is unify the titles.
Yeah.
It makes Roman look even stronger.
Our guy Anakin Skywalker checking in here.
Is that Star
Darth
Wars?
Vader himself, yeah.
Okay.
He is he's kind of this is kind of what I said earlier in the show, that ideally I wanted Cody to be the guy. We wanted it to happen at SummerSlam. Injuries changed the course, and it's gonna change things. I do think Cody will become world champion when he comes back, though, and I hope he does in short order.
I'm not convinced
sure.
of that either, by the way.
You're not? I am. I think it'll happen. I don't know that he'll have a long reign. I think it will happen. They're pushing this guy too. They're still pushing him on all of their graphics, and he's not even around. He was only around
it's
for
great.
a little while. Yeah.
Cue up U2's Beautiful Day.